Welcome to Rewatch and Rank. On this channel, we rewatch older TV shows, provide a summary and opinion on the episode before ranking each episode against each other. Today's episode is Merlin, Season 5, Episode 4, The Desir. Episode in a nutshell is a brief reminder of what happens in the episode. So the episode begins with the Desir at their pool, and they pass judgment. They then meet with a sorcerer, Osgar, who then goes to Camelot, causes some trouble in order to lure Arthur out, and then provides Arthur with the rune mark that is his judgment and fate from the triple goddess. And this then leads to him bringing the coin back as Osgar dies out in the field, stabbed by Gawain. And this is when Gaius tells him what the rune mark means, who the Desir are, and essentially warns him that their judgment is very real and comes from a higher power, something that a mortal would not be able to do, such as changing their fate. So Arthur and his knights then go to the dwelling place of the Desir, and the knights are very disrespectful to them. Arthur's a bit arrogant, and with this disrespect, it leads to them trying to attack the Desir. The Desir attack back. Mordred stands in front of Arthur, preventing his death, ending up poisoned by their sorcery, and it is beyond Merlin, but not really, because Merlin was told by Kilgar that if he has another chance to kill Mordred, he should take it, because Mordred is destined to kill Arthur and their fates are intertwined. So Mordred is brought back. Gaius also is unable to heal him, says that the only ones who could would be the Desir, and so Merlin and Arthur on their own go back to the Desir, and this time Arthur shows them respect and asks them what he would need to do to change the judgment and to save Mordred, and they basically tell him to bring back the old religion and legalize magic. And Arthur considers doing this, however, Merlin, because of what Kilgara said and his, feelings towards Mordred and Mordred's destiny, tells Arthur that magic has no place in Camelot and talks him out of making the proper decision. And so Arthur goes back, says that he can't. They return to Camelot, assuming Mordred will have died, because that, of course, is why Merlin told him to say no. Unfortunately, because Mordred is the one destined to kill Arthur, the punishment for not correcting his ways and allowing magic is that the one who's going to kill him gets cured. And Merlin, of course, is the only one who truly realizes that. And he, of course, laments to Gaius that, it's his fault because Mordred is Arthur's punishment for not accepting magic, and he's the one who told him not to. But Arthur, unaware of this, is happy, and so is Mordred, and they have a fun time training on the field at the end of the episode. So now that we've been reminded about what happened, we'll now rank the episode. As always, we'll first rank on the mostly objective ranking list, followed by the personal ranking list. So on our mostly objective ranking, we start with our single episode character introductions. We first have Osgar, who is the one charged by the Desir with delivering the rune mark to Arthur, who does end up dying, and he's worth 1 point. And then we have the Desir, who are a group, kind of like the Three Seers. And so I am counting them together as one character, and they are named, I may be pronouncing these wrong because I'm pronouncing them as they are spelt, which means that it may be incorrect, but at least online the Desir are Niede, Aterlope, and Befelen. And again, they're 1 point and counting as one character. Then we have plus 3 points for Mordred, who is a multi-season supporting character. He gets to go on his first mission since being knighted. And Then he is poisoned by the Disir, but saved by Merlin's grudge against him and fear of him. And that's 3 points each, so a total of 6, 8 when we include the first original points. Then we have the world building piece, and again, that's 2 pieces. First, we have the Court of the Disir introduced, which is, according to Gaius, the highest and most sacred court in the old religion, comprised of 3 witches who were chosen at birth to be trained as seers and soothsayers, and their only task in life is to interpret the word and judgment of the triple goddess, and they will pass judgment both on those who follow them and those who are enemies of them. The second bit of world building that we have, worth another 4 points, is the rune mark, which is given by the Disir to those found lacking, and it is said to contain their guilt and their fate as dictated by the Disir and, more importantly, the triple goddess, which in the case of Arthur, it's death. Hence why Mordred was cured. And then I did take away 2 points for the negative messaging or behavior. However, this does only bring us to 14 points. But it's basically Merlin's hatred of one person and fear of one person is basically dooming everybody else. It dooms Arthur because now his Bane is alive, or not his Bane, but his destined killer is alive. He condemns all of the sorcerers because now magic is definitely not legal, and Arthur is supposed to bring magic back. That's part of his legend as the once and future king, which he is not fulfilling on Merlin's will. Camelot, of course, once her king falls, will fall as well, so all of the innocent civilians who are not magical also will be doomed. The knights who will fight to protect Arthur, probably also doomed. So basically everybody is going to be doomed because Merlin is scared of one kid killing his king and decides to talk Arthur out of part of his destiny. Is essentially what that boils down to. So, -2. But still a 10 out of 10 episode. And of course, because when more than one episode has the same score, we just rank in episode order. Our mostly objective ranking is in first Arthur's Bane, followed by the death song of Uther Pendragon. This episode comes in third, The Disir, and then Another Sorrow is currently in fourth place. Now, my personal ranking. I do like the episode. I like the introduction of lore from the old religion and more knowledge on magic and the old religion because I think that that's like the real fantasy element coming into play. Um, I do like Mordred as a character. I don't think I hate Mordred. And Mordred was a focus of this episode in that it was his first mission as a knight, and it shows that he has been bonding and connecting with the other knights. They tease each other at the start of the episode. His life is at risk. Arthur's willing to go back to the Disir with more respect in order to try to save him. So we get a lot of positive things in the episode and interesting things in the episode. However, the biggest what if I think of the series has to do with the decision Merlin makes. In an effort to kill Mordred, because of his fear of what Mordred might one day do, he actually ends up with the opposite effect of saving Mordred, who is destined to kill Arthur because, again, he talked Arthur out of part of his destiny. Like, Arthur is the once and future king. He is meant to unite Albion and bring back the old ways, i.e., magic. Even if he unites all of Albion, part of it was bringing back magic. And Merlin has been saying since season 1 that he believes Arthur will be a king who will be able to bring magic back, and where magic people like him will be able to live freely, and peacefully. And yet, Merlin's doing like everything he can to talk him out of it, all from fear of one person. And I think I've already said it at the mostly objective ranking that This is just terrible. It's a terrible choice, a terrible decision with terrible outcomes all around, and I think Merlin's an idiot for making it. That was harsh, but I believe it. And I feel like some of my favorite fan fiction in this particular fandom are the ones that have him make a different decision, allow magic to be legalized, and like that what if kind of exploration of what if he had made a proper choice. Obviously, had he chosen to legalize magic, there's a good chance, even though he asked for Mordred to be spared, he probably wouldn't have been. Merlin would have gotten what he wanted, Mordred dead, Arthur's person destined to kill him would be dead, therefore he would live, and magic would be legal, which means Merlin would be able to reveal his magic, become a more respected part of the kingdom, etc., etc. You could have had a happy ending. But I feel like this is the moment where that happy ending kind of poofs it away, goes up in smoke. You know how it is. So, for that reason, I really don't like that one decision. However, one decision cannot completely destroy an episode. But for me, it does take away a lot more points than two. And that is why I decided to give this episode a 5 out of 10. Because, again, it had good things, but this one decision is just so awful to me that I'm taking 5 points for it. That brings our personal ranking list to in first Arthur's Bane, followed by Another Sorrow, The Death Song of Uther Pendragon, and then this episode, The Desir, is currently in last place and fourth place. And that now brings us to the series rankings so far. So on our mostly objective ranking, we have Season 4 in first place at 86.36%, Season 2 second at 70.83%, Season 3 third at 70%, and Season 1 in fourth at 69.23%. And then Season 5 so far has a score of 37 out of a possible 110. On our personal ranking side, Season 4 is in first place with 79.09%, Season 3 in second with 72.73%, Season 2 in third at 70.83%, and then Season 1 is in fourth place with 66.92%. Season 5 so far has a score of 30 out of a possible 110. But with that, we have now rewatched and ranked Merlin Season 5, Episode 4, The Desir. Like and subscribe if you'd like to, and I'll see you in the next episode.